Šta radite kada se simptomi iznova ponavljaju?
What do you do when the symptoms keep coming back but the tests show something different?
Ovaj traktor kupljen je 2021. godine.
This tractor was bought in 2021 and it's still under extended warranty. But for quite a while now, we've been dealing with one problem we simply haven't been able to solve. Have you ever been in a situation like that? We're here to share both the wins and the challenges with you, exactly as they are. So today we're going to walk you through this tractor case, how we dealt with smoke, oil consumption, and oil leaks. What the service team did through that whole period, and what we finally came to in January 2026.
U ovom procesu zahtevali smo jasne odgovore i dokaze.
In this process, we demanded clear answers and proof because, as organic producers, we cannot work with a machine that leaks oil onto the fields where we grow food. That's why we kept clear records, and we didn't give up until the problem was solved.
Ovo je priča o naša dva John Deere traktora koje imamo na južnoj i na severnoj lokaciji.
This is the story of our two John Deere tractors, the ones we have at our southern and northern locations. At the northern location, we had problems with smoke, oil leaks, and oil consumption, while at the southern location, we only had smoke. However, even during the latest inspection, traces of oil were found there, around the primary turbocharger and on the intercooler line. On this tractor, we replaced the turbocharger, and the same process is underway at the southern location.
Traktore guseničare uzeli smo zbog njihovih prednosti u radu.
We bought track tractors for their advantages in wet working conditions and their reduced compaction on clay soils. But when we needed them most, in spring and autumn, we kept seeing smoke or, in the case of this tractor, oil leaks. Because we didn't know what was causing it, we were afraid of a bigger failure. And because we didn't want oil dripping onto our fields, we kept pulling those tractors out of service, which delayed our work.
Problem se prvi put pojavio krajem septembra 2020.
The problem first appeared at the end of September 2024, when smoke and oil vapor began coming out here. At that point, we had the classic dilemma. Was it the oil vapor separator, the engine, or something else entirely? And what matters is this. From September 2024, when the problem first appeared here, until November 2025, we couldn't determine the exact cause, even though we had more than 6 service interventions. Let's go through each intervention in order and what we learned from it.
Dva dana nakon nastanka problema, servis dolazi kod nas.
2 days after the problem appeared, the service team came to us and concluded that the oil vapor separator had to be replaced, but that the tractor could keep working. At the beginning of October 2024, we bought that part and replaced it at our own expense because it was not covered by warranty, unlike the gearbox and the engine, which were. On October 16, 2024, we filed another complaint, and this time it was found that oil was leaking from the gas pipe. Then, on November 24, 2024, the service team came out again and replaced the oil vapor separator at their own expense because it was established that we had changed it a month earlier, and that the problem was not in that part at all.
proleće 2025. godine
In spring 2025, when spring fieldwork started, we again noticed smoke and oil leaks. At that point, the tractor was sent to the service shop in Bačka Topola, and under warranty, the piston rings, bearings, and water pump were replaced. The engine was dismantled, but no major fault was found.
U avgustu 2025. godine ponovo smo vidjeli
In August 2025, we once again saw smoke and oil consumption. That month, a diagnostic test was performed in which crankcase gas pressure was measured, and all parameters indicated that compression was fine. We kept using that tractor while also monitoring oil consumption. And after one of our own tests in November, an 8-day test, we saw that oil consumption remained high. That was the signal for us to file the complaint again and not give up, because the root cause had clearly not been removed.
u januaru 2026. godine
In January 2026, the service technicians came again at our request, and for the first time it was found that the turbocharger had excessive axial play, which could potentially be the solution to this problem. What really helped us in a situation like this was keeping records by date and by operating hours. We took photos, we made videos, we measured oil consumption. The trap in situations like this is that symptoms usually only show up in real field work under load, so a test after this kind of repair is mandatory.
Šta je najgori scenario koji može da se desi ako nastavimo da vozimo?
What is the worst case scenario if we keep running a tractor that smokes, burns oil, and has oil leaks? It can lead to a serious engine failure. A failure like that causes a major delay in the season, and of course, oil leaking on organic fields is not acceptable.
Ok, kako smo mi prelomili ovu situaciju?
Okay, so how did we handle this situation in the end? By being extremely persistent, we did not give up until a solution was found. What we can advise you is this: keep records of the hours, make videos of the oil level before and after, ask for the test results in writing so you have them as proof, and in general, people, be active. The service team is there for you, and it's in their best interest to resolve issues like this as quickly as possible.
Januara zamenjen je turbokompresor.
On January 27th, the turbocharger was replaced. A day later, this tractor from the northern location was tested on a dynamometer under heavy load. There were no oil leaks, no smoke, and the service technicians are convinced the problem is now solved. We'll continue monitoring the situation and keep you updated on the outcome.
Da li ste vi sa vašom mašinom imali
Have you ever had a problem with your machine that couldn't be solved in a single service visit? What did that process look like, and what helped you the most? Write to us in the comments. Take care.